Welcome back to the Starketer episode 6. So for the last few weeks we've been reflecting on the basics and discussing those building blocks that give us a really solid foundation for our marketing function to grow. Now that we've got those blocks in place, we can start to talk specifics. And the first area we're going to focus on is content. And so with that in mind, our key activity for this week is creating our very own content calendar. Now, for me, content is one of the most exciting bits of marketing. I love the whole creative process, and there's nothing better than seeing that idea go from initial discussion all the way through to fruition and the end result. But what we want to make sure we do with our content is make sure it's balanced and focused for each specific channel. Now, reusing content is great, but we have to appreciate that not every piece is going to be relevant for every medium. And with that in mind, we want to then build up a schedule of what's going to work, when, and what sort of topic we want to be covering. Now, doing this ensures that we don't saturate our channels with the same stuff. So nobody wants to read case study after case study after case study. It gets boring and they lose their impact. Similarly, you don't just want to drop reasons and reasons and reasons why you're the best. What we really want to do is give value and also feature those bits in so that when they do appear, they have so much more impact. And doing so through creating a calendar helps us achieve this because it allows us to schedule 1, 2, 3 months in advance everything that we want to be talking about. Now, this also helps us make sure that we're covering the topics that we want to, so we can be seen as knowledgeable in our sector, whilst also allowing for the flexibility of reactionary stuff, whether that be industry news or trending topics. Either way, having that schedule helps alleviate so much stress that we've often all come across when, say, we haven't posted in a while, we feel compelled to, but what do we do? What do we put out there? Often it ends up being subpar and not necessarily the kind of stuff we want to be talking about. Whereas if we plan ahead and have that content scheduled to hit the right notes in the right distribution and also on the right topics and ratios, then we've got a really solid function for producing quality consistently. Now, moving on to our key learning for the week. This one's all about process, and it's actually quite similar to the lesson that we spoke about all the way back in episode 1. But this week, it's come from Justin Langer, who is the head coach of the Australian cricket team. Now, I've recently been recommended as a cricket fan to watch The Test on Amazon Prime, which is all about Australia and their journey back from the ball tampering scandal. So one thing they did was really get back to basics and remember what was good about them in the first place. And a line that the coach Langer said that really resonated with me was all about trusting the process. And that's what my key learning is for us this week, is to remember that no matter what happens and no matter the circumstances around, if we trust in that process that we built at the start, things will work out okay. If we just focus on that next thing and concentrate on what's right for us, what we fit in our process, we'll achieve the results that we're ultimately looking for down the line. And all it is about that commitment and resolution to what works best. Now, we've had our key activity and we've had our key learning. So let's finish with some inspiration. Now, I thought this was a really cool idea, and it's actually from my friends over at Cricket and Gin Tonic. Now, one of the main things that we use all the time and is an international language is emojis. But what they spotted was that there was a gap, namely for a G&T emoji. So what they've done is they've created a petition on change.org to get a gin and tonic emoji put in to the Apple menu. And what I really love about this is that it helps create a bit of fun and a bit of buzz. And it's actually been picked up by Forbes, which shows to see how an organic campaign all about creating an emoji can actually go a really long way to getting your brand some great coverage, as well as showing some creativity and a bit of lightheartedness around what you're all about. So I'll pop a link in the comments so you can go check that out for yourself. And if you're a fan of a G&T, sign up, and who knows, soon you might be able to pop one of those straight into your phone rather than having to tap out those 3 words. Well, that's everything for this week. I really appreciate you watching, and we'll continue on with our topic of content in next week's episode. We'll see you then.